I want it to always be a name that when it's said, they know exactly who I'm talking about and they know what he did for our family. What would you do if you weren't afraid? This is a very exciting time in our life. It's a time that is fleeting. And the answer is I would record her and I would document her life. Through the year, or I guess, yeah, it's been a year, over a year that this has happened. I've accumulated a lot of things because, like I said, you want something tangible to hold. I have a bracelet, I have a necklace, and I'm going to go through our little box that I have. I haven't been through this in since I put this stuff in there, I've not gone through it. This little box is it's our Micah box. And I think it's really pretty. I had it in a cardboard box, but we found this and I just thought it was perfect. And this is just some of the stuff that I have to remember. The first thing, if you don't speak baby language, BFP stands for Big Fat Positive. And I have the calendar where I wrote that we got our positive pregnancy test on the 29th. Have you ever been through this box?
I don't think so.
So I have that. The day that we found out for sure, we went to Hobby Lobby and we bought this little onesie because we were going to put some kind of design on it because we had originally thought to do some kind of picture with it. I have my Mother's Day cards that are kind of inappropriate. Another Mother's Day card. These were all from my first Mother's Day. I bought this book and it didn't really make sense with our situation. Like, it didn't really go with our situation. This was more for a stillborn. But I got it trying to explain the situation to my nieces and nephews. I have a little note from my dad saying how proud he was of me. He left this on my car. Another Mother's Day card from my brother and sister-in-law. This was a prayer that I wrote on May 4th, 2014 at 9:33 p.m. And I wrote this prayer basically telling God that I was very nervous and very scared and that I was giving this situation to Him. I bought this book right after I found out that I was pregnant, and it actually has our tests. It has our pregnancy or positive tests, and I filled it out, so that I was 20 years old. This is my first pregnancy, and I have all of our information about, I'll just read it. It says, where and when I took my pregnancy test. And it says, I took the first test on Tuesday, April 29th in the afternoon. I went to Walmart to buy it, and my heart was pounding. It took me forever to find the tests. I hid them in my cart and hurried home to take it. And then first reaction was shock. I didn't think I would ever see two pink lines on a pregnancy test, especially not now. But I became very excited and happy. And then how I told my partner. I bought a lime green and yellow poster board and wrote, "Congrats, Daddy," and taped the test to it. I hung it over our living room for him to see, and he came home from lunch. When he came home from lunch, he had a huge smile and he was so happy. And then we have a fortune cookie, little fortune in it, and it says, I went to eat with the family that night. It was the night that we found out I was pregnant, and this was my fortune. No one knew that I was pregnant at this point, and the fortune was, a small gift can bring joy to the whole family. And that's all I got to fill out in this whole book. Just the first page. But that is a cool book. It's kind of just like a pregnancy journal. I have my discharge information, my prenatal vitamins.
Discharge.
Yeah, this is all the stuff that I had at the hospital.
Posters.
This was all the stuff that the hospital gave me.
Will I wear pink or blue is what you thought.
Yeah. It says, I'll see you in January 2015. Will I be wearing pink or blue?
It says, good thing you're not going to Disney. Congratulations, Daddy.
Congratulations, Daddy, with all of the tests. I didn't know that I still have those, actually.
Oh, these are the cards that the kids made when she went through her DNC. That one has Katie.
Get well soon,
This one says
Missy.
get well soon.
My niece and nephew, Jerry and Caitlin and Abby and...
Love Jerry, so that's baby Jerry.
Yeah.
Or should I say Big Daddy?
Big Daddy. I love you, Missy. I hope you feel better. Get well soon.
Love you so
I love you
much.
so much. Love Abby.
Get well soon, Missy. Katie. Love you, Missy, so much. You are the best.
Love Abby.
Love Abby.
I had bought shirts to tell the nieces and nephews, but I never actually gave them to them. But they've kind of messed up. But it says like Big Cousin 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then for John's, I did the same thing, but I just kept one. These were my hospital bracelets. My What to Expect book. Ibuprofen. And then the medicine that I actually had to take to try to miscarry on my own at home. So that's what's in my box. I think it's important to have things like this.
The things that go on your chest to monitor your heart.
I remember I got home and I was feeling and I felt one and I thought, what in the world? Actually in this bag, along with, this is like all of the stuff that they gave me at the magazines and things that I was telling you about. But I also have the prayer that my pastor's wife gave us to pray against generational curses and untimely bloodshed and things. And just denounce any attack of the devil. Have it all. I think it is important to have things like the box and my bracelet. We have 2 gardens dedicated to Micah. We have several things just around our house dedicated to him. We have Christmas ornaments, and my goal as far as Micah goes is to not make his name unfamiliar in my house. I want it to always be a name that when it's said, they know exactly who I'm talking about, and they know what he did for our family, because Micah, in a way, kind of saved Lily also. And I want her to know that, because had we not gone through this experience with Micah, then I would never have known that I had issues that needed to be resolved before I got pregnant again. And if I would have gotten pregnant on my own again, you know, something could have happened to Lily. And so I want her to know that he kind of is her hero. He kind of is our hero, because this happening prevented a lot of future hurt and pain, and we figured out the problem and was able to correct it. And so I'm actually going to do a pregnancy after loss video. I'm going to do a coping with loss, kind of all in one video. I don't know when, so it will come out eventually. And I think that this video is going to be out at the perfect time, because this is actually, had Micah been born on his due date, this would have been his first birthday today. So January 2nd, 2016, that's a very special day. There are a few days that you always remember when you have a miscarriage, and their due date is one of them. So I think it's a good thing that we waited and that this video it was meant to come out today.
But one thing I do want to say is, you know, we don't know the plans of God, and we don't know why he does the things that he does. But like Missy said, Micah saved Lily. Micah could save other babies in the future. We don't know if anything was wrong with Micah. Like, he could have had an illness that we cannot fix. He could have died at a very young age. We don't know the future, but God knows our future. And so I truly believe that he took Micah up to heaven with him, to prevent us from heartache and
a greater heartache.
Yeah.
And there's actually a scripture in Isaiah, I'm not sure exactly the chapter and verse, but it basically talks about how God, because we wonder why these things happen, or why someone is taken away at a young age, or Micah didn't even get a chance to live, really. And it talks about how God will take these people to prevent future heartache, or more pain. And so we did experience pain, and we experienced hurt, but it could have been so much greater. Having a baby with cancer, I can't imagine, or knowing your baby in an intimate way and watching them grow and then seeing something happen, I cannot imagine. So although we went through this pain, I know that the reason is God protecting us and protecting Micah from something that could have been much worse. And so we shed no tears today. We might have fought them back a little bit, but that is because although it was very sad, it was a very devastating time, and we still are very sad about it, and very hurt and very upset about it, but we have faith, and we know that one day our Micah is not gone forever. One day we are going to meet him. One day when we go to heaven, he will be the first one we see. We have hope because of that, because we have faith. And so, if you're struggling with something like this, I encourage you to dig deeper into your word, to grow your relationship with God, because he'll give you peace, he'll give you joy, and he'll give you hope that one day you will see your child again. And so, I think that's all for this video. I'm glad that we finally got it out, and it came at the perfect time.
Because Lily's crying.
Lily just woke up.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. But anyway, this is a video of hope. This is a video to give you hope. And to know that even though these storms happen, you will always come out on the other side. And you can talk about it without crying your eyes out. You can talk about it with joy instead of sadness. And you can always find joy in these situations. And our Micah is a joy to us.
Because Micah's in heaven. I mean, he gets to be raised by Jesus himself.
One thing that's given me comfort through this whole situation is thinking, on this earth we experience heartache, we experience pain and suffering, and, he will never ever have to experience anything but God's love. And I always said, and I've seen it before, that, I had planned on telling Micah about Jesus, but now Jesus can tell Micah about us. And that is very comforting. That's a nice image. And so, anyway, we better go get our crying baby. She's awake and needs us. So, I guess that's all for the video. I think we said it all. So, as always,
we will see you
tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.